Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for other motorsport enthusiasts. Holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a great person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, you know what makes me sad? What makes me sad is that most men will die with their potential, with their full potential still locked inside of them, man. Not because they didn't want to grow, right? But because they refuse to take a step, take that next step and that next step without having a guarantee, without seeing the full plan, without seeing the full path ahead of them. Most men will not take that next step unless they know what's up ahead. And let me be clear, man. Let me be clear. If you need certainty to move in your life, right? If you need to see the whole path in order to take the first step, if you need to know what's up ahead in order for you to take that first step, my bro, you'll never fucking move. You'll never create big shit. You'll never expand your life because you'll be so stuck in the fear of like, oh man, I can't see the whole road. I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it's going to take me. So I'm not going to take the next step. But life is about embracing it. Life is about having faith. Life is about, taking calculated risk and believing in yourself that you can make things happen and having the faith that as long as you put in the hard work, eventually, no matter how long it fucking takes, eventually you will get to where you're going. Like, man, it reminds me, back when I was working in construction, man, I had this colleague, older gentleman, man, older dude. Like, I'm just gonna use a Jim for example, right? I'm gonna use Jim, so I don't use his real name, but let's use Jim, right? And Jim, older gentleman, probably 60s, always come in. He wasn't too up. He wasn't very cheerful. He was always like, just getting by, doing the bare minimum, playing it super safe. And all he would talk about was that, man, I wish I would have done more when I was younger. I wish I would have took more risk. I wish I would have taken this opportunity and that opportunity and that opportunity. And all he talked about is how now it's too late for him. Now he just has to, show up to work and do whatever he needs to do and go home and just live out the rest of his days. And he would always preach to the young guys of like, man, follow your dream, do more, chase more, become the man that you want to be. Like, and that right there makes me sad because, man, I'm just remembering talking to let's just say Jim, I'm going to keep using that name, Jim. And man, like, I don't want to live like that. Like, I don't want to become an older gentleman that lives with regret, man. And I'm sure you don't either, right? And so this podcast episode, this episode that we're going through today, is all about your internal compass, right? It's all about like that whisper that we have inside. It's all about that fire that we have inside, that gut pull, right? And why ignoring your gut pull, that fire, that whisper, that internal compass that we have inside is slowly killing your momentum, bro. Stop ignoring that shit. You're fucking killing the progress that you can be making. You see, the truth is that you don't need a full map, right? You don't need to see the entire path. You don't need to know where you're going to end up for you to take the next step. All you need to know is what direction you're going to go, right? Like let's say you're on a path and you go from here. I live in Miami. Let's say you're going all the way to Canada, right? Like nowadays we have the GPS. You can put it on the phone. You can see all the stuff, right? But man, you don't need to know what's up ahead, like a state or 2 states or 3 states. Yeah, it's good to know, right? But back in the days before we had GPS, when you couldn't see the whole route, right? Like you would just trust your instinct, and you know that you pointed your car in the right direction, and you take the move, and you take the leap, and you go and you start making progress, and day after day you'd get further along and further along and further along and further along, but you didn't fucking see the end result before you took off. You just know that you're heading in the right direction, and you're gonna trust, you're gonna have faith, and you're gonna course correct along the way to make sure that you're getting to the right destination. You see, the need for a roadmap is often just fear in disguise. And most of us, we let the fear hold us back because we don't know what's up ahead. We don't know what's the next step. We don't know how insecure it is. We don't know if it's going to be secure. We don't know what's up ahead, right? And so this internal compass, it gives you just enough like to move. No more, no less. You trust your internal compass. You trust your gut. You trust your intuition. You trust that you're aligning it in the direction that you want to go. And even though you don't know the full path up ahead, you're going to trust it because it's calling you. It's pulling you. It's telling you, yo, go that way. And so it's time for you to stop ignoring that shit. It's time for you to start leaning into that gut feeling. It's time for you to listen to that internal compass so that you could create the things that you want in your life. Like, here, let me give you an example. Like, let's say you wanted us to launch your coaching business, right? Well, there was no full plan, and this was been my experience, right? Like, I left construction industry, fucking executive level construction professional, right? And I was like, had this dream, I had this calling of doing a coaching business, right? I didn't know the full steps ahead. I didn't know what was up ahead. And quite frankly, I'll tell you real, like, if I knew the whole shit that I was going to go through, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I ain't done. I ain't quitting. I ain't like, but sometimes not knowing what's up ahead is actually to your benefit, right? But you got to listen to that tug. You got to listen to that feeling. You got to listen to your gut. Like, that's the compass, right? And now look, like, now I'm doing way better than I was. Now I have a podcast going on. Now there's my social media is growing. You know, the movement's been started. Like, things are moving along. Sure, I always wish things could go way faster. I always think that I can make more progress. I always wish that things would be at a higher level. But I feel like that's just ingrained in us, in our high performing men, that we're never I guess, happy or satisfied with the progress that we're making. We always think that we could be doing more, and we can, right? But you got to be willing to be satisfied. You got to be willing to be content with the effort that you've been putting in, as long as you're putting in effort, right? If you're not putting no effort, then you got to reevaluate your plan. But embrace it. Follow your intuition. Go in the direction that you want to go, right? It's like another example. Let's say, like, your jobs or your relationships or a mission that you have for your life, right? They unfold only when you say yes to point A, right? Like so many people were like, oh no, but I don't see the whole map. I don't see the whole road. But you can't get to point C without going through point A, right? And you can't even get to D without going through C, right? And then B. But you got to be willing to let go of A in order to get to B. And when you get to B, you got to be willing to let go of B to get to C. And when you get to C, you got to be willing to let go of C to get to D, right? And so forth. You're not going to always see the road ahead. I can tell you more times than not, you will not see it, right? But you got to trust your instinct. You got to trust your gut. You got to know that you're pointing this shit in the right direction. You're taking action every day, and you're embracing the path that your gut, your intuition is telling you to go on, right? It's like, we'll give you a little metaphor here. Like, there's like the foggy mountain road, right? Or like, man, when I went to Costa Rica, there was a lot of them, right? And a lot of the times, like, you're driving on a cliff, going up or down the mountain or up in the mountain, and it's so foggy. It's so, and you can't, man, you can only see like 10 feet up ahead, right? But like, you don't just stop and pull over, and because you can't see, no, you slow down, you take a steady pace, right? And you still drive the whole damn way. Like, yeah, there was some people over there that they pulled over, they had their hazards, and like, oh, we're not moving because we can't see. And I was like, all right, that's your position on life. And I wonder, actually, it would be nice to compare how the risk the risk level in their life is actually impacting them, and how much they could succeed and how much they're creating in themselves. Because if they're unwilling to drive, even at a slower pace, in massive fog, because you can only see the road 10 feet ahead, but you can still see the road, you can still go, you just got to go slow, then don't you think that they're probably living a life that is not to their full capabilities? Right? I just thought about that comparison that came to mind, and I was like, man. And so think about your life, right? Like, I always look for signs of how we can learn from not only our mistakes, but what we're doing every day, and what our emotions, our fears, our brain is telling us, right? Where are you playing it small? Where are you like, I don't know, I don't see the full step ahead, so I'm not going to go that route, right? Think about it, analyze it, and fucking take some steps towards that route. Right? It's like your purpose won't be emailed to you in a PDF, bro. Like it won't. Like, I wish I could put your purpose in a PDF, because then I could send it to a massive amount of people, right? But you gotta be willing to say yes before you feel ready. That's with anything worthwhile achieving. Like, you're never going to feel ready before you got to take that first step. You got to be willing to know that you're taking the first step in the right direction. And if you don't take that fucking first step, and then course correct. But as long as you take that first step. Because if you never take that first step, you're going to be stuck in fear. You're going to be stuck in worry. You're going to be stuck in, and maybe you might become like that guy Jim that I was telling you about. Late 60s, working at some job that he fucking hates, always down, always like gloomy, never up, and always talking about, man, how he wished he would have fucking done things. And he wished he would have taken that risk. He wished he would have pursued so many other things because his life would be so much different. See, fear will dress itself in logic, my friend. Like, I've learned this over and over again, right? And the internal compass that we have inside of us is speak through us through our emotions. It speaks through us through our intuition. And like, it does like little subtle pulls, right? Like it course corrects and it tells you, oh, I don't know, I don't feel this is good, or this, I feel this is good, we should go this way, right? That's your internal compass speaking through your emotions, through your feelings, through your intuition, right? But fear, fucking fear, it'll come dressed up as logic, bro, and it will, like, it come dressed up as practicality, as, no, this is being smart, no, this is doing the right thing, right? Like that's what fear comes to you, right? It makes you play small because it tries to put practicality or common sense to the moves that that you want to make, and you don't end up making because the fear is trying to make you play small. Well, the problem is that you're feeling fear because you've never done that. You've never gone that route. That's why you got to look up role models, people who have done the things that you want to do, so that you could see examples and you could know that someone else fucking did it, so I could do it too, right? Like, here's an example. Like, the man, all right, let's go back to Jim, right? The man who hates his corporate job, right? But he says, man, I got the benefits, it's stable, I'm just showing up at a 9 to 5. And actually, let's put Jim aside. There's so many men, and I used to be one of them that was like, bro, I got this nice corporate job. I'm making high 6-figure salary, like fucking doing good, but the benefits are stable. And it's wild because when I went on this entrepreneur journey, man, I was telling my family, and none of them who were entrepreneurs, by the way, they're like, yo, you're fucking nuts. Are you crazy? You're going to leave that secure job? Like, bro, like, but then I can't blame them because they have never experienced the entrepreneur journey. They don't know what it feels like or how it is to make, massive amount of money, right? Through helping others, right? And so, of course, they were gonna fucking go against what I'm saying, right? They're all dressed up like their fear is dressed up as logic because they're like, oh, you got a good income, you got a good stable. Why are you gonna go chase something for a dream, for a movement, for a calling that you feel? Just stay where you're at, right? But that's how you play small. That's how you live a life that is unfulfilled, right? You see, like another example, right? Guys that feel like called to move to another city to pursue a bigger life. Like, I actually can think of one guy right now, right? Close to me, and I'm not going to say his name, but close to our family. It's actually in our family, right? And he wants to move cities. He wants to relocate cities so that he can make more money. And he actually would be to his fucking benefit to make more money because he has kids. He has a woman, but his woman doesn't want to relocate because she's stuck where they're at, and she's stuck in this small-minded mindset. Instead of realizing that relocating cities and trusting what's the next move, your intuition, like trusting the call instead of overthinking it so that you can fucking lower your life, your quality of life for you and your kids, it's a fucking problem, right? And my dude, he needs to, the reality is he needs to fucking man up, put some balls on the table and be like, yo, we're fucking moving our family over here. We're gonna level up. We're gonna fucking increase our status. We're gonna make more money, and our kids are gonna go to better schools. And we're gonna do this because this is what my intuition is telling me, not because you're in fucking dressed up in fear and logic and want to stay playing small, right? You can't let that shit take over because it will fuck up your life, dude. It will. Like, just think about it for you. Like what is one area, right? Like where you've let yourself been talked out of, our internal voice, right? We all have that internal voice, right? Like up until today, right? Think about, like, man, where did I let my voice play small? Like, where did I let it convince me that that wasn't the right idea? Because here's the funny part, right? When we're on our emotions, when their peak is high, when our energy is high, when we're in that state, like, yeah, fuck, I'm gonna do this shit no matter what. And then as soon as that emotion leaves, and now you're at a lower level, you're like, you know what? Man, what the fuck was I thinking? You know, like, man, what the fuck? Do you think I can make that happen? But yes, you can, because fear is clever. Fear will disguise itself in logic, and it's gonna tell you to quit. It's gonna tell you that you're not good enough. It's gonna tell you that, what the fuck do you think you are that you could go make that happen? But you need to punch that motherfucker straight in the face, sucker punch him in the mouth, and show him that you are meant for more. Show him that you will do more, that you will be more, right? Feel the fear, embrace the fear, and fucking do it anyway, right? Because no one gets to see Z and even C without walking through A. It goes A, B, C, D, E, and so forth, right? And you gotta be willing to let go one before you get to the next level, right? It's just like going up the stairs, right? You don't get to the ninth level without going through the second or third level. You gotta go one level at a time, right? And so you don't need to see the whole path in order for you to take the next step. You don't need to see how it ends in order for you to take the next step, right? If you're always waiting to see the whole path, you're never gonna fucking make the progress, the movement, the things that you want in your life, right? Like, you just need the courage, my brother, to be able to walk through, take that first step, and the next one, and the next one, right? That's right in front of you, right? And trust that your compass, your internal compass, is going to guide you the right way. And it's going to tell you, yo, this one doesn't feel right. Oh, this one feels right, right? Or and analyze your path so you can course correct, right? And you got to know where you're going, right? And don't let fear back you out of this shit, because fear will put logic. Fear will tell you, nah, you don't know, but you know, you're already making a lot more than anyone in your fucking else's, anyone in your family would be making. So why the fuck are you gonna go chase a better life? Right? Fear will put logic in you. Fear will kill your fucking dreams, right? But if you know you're meant for more, if you know that you want to take your family to the next level, if you know that you want to be the fucking man who changes it all for your generation, then you got to be able to lean into that shit and say, fuck you, fear. I'm going this way because I know it's what my intuition tells me. Because I know this is the path for me. Because I know there's a better life for me. And I will not play small. Like, man, if I would have let fear hold me back, I would have never started on this movement. I would have never created the podcast. I would have never created the brand, right? I would have never gone on this movement. And who knows how long it's going to take, but I don't care how long it's going to take, because I'm not going to stop doing it, right? I'm embarked on this mission. I feel calling. I feel called to serve men and help them improve their life, specifically motorsport men, driven, high-level motorsport men that want to improve their lives, they want to achieve more, they want to take their families to the next level, and they know that they're just stuck in the fucking situation that they're in, and just got to do a couple things and change this shit so they can be a better man, so they can be a better husband, so they can be a better father, so they can be a better member to society, right? Like, that's the calling, that's the mission, that's what we're on, right? But if I would let fear hold me back and say, no, man, who the fuck do I think? Right? Who would I think I am, right? Like, you know, and for a lot of times, many times, I let that shit hold me back. You know, you're not good enough, Randy, you know? Who the fuck do you think you are? There's so many other better people out there. And yeah, there might be better people out there, but you know what? I've gone through shit that other people haven't, and I can help men. You know, I could probably help women too, but I'm focused on helping men, specifically married men, motorsport enthusiasts, guys who want to level up, guys who want to take it to the next level. That's who I've been called to serve. And if I would have let fear hold me back, think about how many men I would let down. Like, I think about that. I would be doing a disservice to the people who are counting on me in order to help them get out of that rut, in order to help them level up, in order to help them fucking realign themselves so their woman, their family could be like, yo, that's my wide open warrior right there. You see? But that takes courage. That takes leaning in. That takes not knowing the full plan up ahead, but taking the next step, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Just course correcting along the way, listening to your intuition, not giving in to the logic, to the fear, to the shit that makes you play small. Like, here's another example. Like, men, let's say you want to speak on stage, right? And you want to be a good speaker. That's another example for me, right? I want to be a good speaker, that I can get on stage, because I do have knowing visions of speaking to hundreds, on stage, right? And so you're going to start small, right? You're going to start with speaking to smaller groups, right? And then you're going to grow, and then you're going to grow, and you're going to grow. But if you won't speak to a smaller group because, oh, I'm so scared. Oh, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know. I just don't know. That you're never going to be able to grow your mindset to the capacity that it takes for in order to you to speak to hundreds of men, right? Or hundreds of people, right? It's just the process. You got to go through A to get to B, to get to C, to get to D, and eventually you get to Z, Z, right? But it takes the process. It takes going in. It takes trusting your intuition, right? You don't go through point A without going through B, C, D, E, F, G, and eventually get to Z, right? If you don't go through point A, Z will stay a fantasy, my friend. It will. And if you listen to the logic, if you let the fear take over, if you let it hold you back and put all these disempowering thoughts inside of you, you're going to fucking play small. You're going to probably be like this guy, Jim, that I mentioned, get into his late 60s and be like, yeah, man, always talking about how he wish he could have done more, how he wish he would have taken those risks, how he wish he would have done this. Fuck wishing, do it now. So my question for you here as we wrap up this episode is, what would your life look like if you trusted your gut, if you trusted your intuition, instead of letting your fear fog your vision? Like, what would it look like, right? And my challenge for you, right, is I want you to take just one action. Take one thing that your internal compass has been pointing you towards and been guiding you, has been tugging you, and be like, yo, this is the way, yo, this is the way, yo, don't do that or do this. I want you to just take one of those, right? And for at least the next 30 days, I want you to commit to it. No overthinking, no excuses, just movement, just action, just showing up every day, starting today. And I promise you, one step after the other, after the other, after the other. You do this for 30 days, you're gonna have 30 days, you're gonna be like, yo, looking back, like, damn, that wasn't so bad. I wonder how, and you start expanding your capabilities, like, oh, man, I was playing small back then, right? Like, what can I go after now? That's just how it works. You got to be able to expand. It's like a rubber band, right? A rubber band will only be stretched so much until bam, and you break it, and you break the elasticity of it, and now it can go a lot wider. Well, this is what you got to do to your beliefs, to your system, to the internal programming that we have in our fucking minds that tells us, oh, this is where we should be, right? Oh, this is what we think we could achieve. No, fuck that. Dream big, do more, be more, and become the man that you're meant to be. You see, men become unstoppable when they no longer need certainty to move. When they only move with conviction, that's when men become unstoppable. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. If you still haven't subscribed yet, bro, it's about time you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And if you vibe with today's message and you'd like to contribute to the growth of this mission, my brother, man, do us a solid and share this on your story. Make sure that you tag me, Wide Open Randy, so that more motorheads, more gearheads, more men like you and me can really see and hear about this story. And ultimately, that's how we'll help our community grow. I'll catch up with you on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.